Hello and welcome back to another video. Now I know some of you may be surprised to see that I have uploaded again after almost 3 months of absence. I have been really busy with life and I've just not really had the time to make a video. Regardless, I'm back and today we're going to be talking about my predictions for the Bricklink Designer Program, Round 3. Before we get into that though, I wanted to quickly look over the first two rounds and how those, observations might relate to the future rounds. Let's jump right into it. All right, so first of all, we have the castle in the forest. Now, I want to let you know now that I have ordered these. So the first one is the one that reached the 3,000 pre-orders first, and then the last one is the last one. So obviously the ones that didn't make it. All right, so Castle in the Forest reached 3,000 pre-orders very, very quickly, and in fact, it surpassed that all the way up to 10,000, even though the maximum was only 5,000. I'm honestly not sure how that happened, but that's how LEGO tells it, and it's pretty crazy. This was a very, very popular set. I think it had a lot of adult appeal and kid appeal. It just overall is a really cool build. Next up, we have the Great Fishing Boat, my personal favorite set in this first round. And this is a set that has a lot of really cool features. I like the color scheme, and in general, I think it's a really cool set. Next up, we had the Sheriff's Safe. Now, this is a set I honestly didn't think would make it very far. It proved me wrong, though. It ended up coming in third, and I think it actually looks pretty cool. Obviously, the functionality is the best part, but I don't know, I just didn't feel like it was that great of a set. Then we have the Pursuit of Flight. This is another mechanical model, and there's a little crank right back here. When you turn that, they pretty much move left and right. And I think the mechanics of it is pretty cool, actually. It does have a nice display value. I do honestly feel it's a little bit pricey, considering it's only $55. I guess some can say the same about this set too. I guess it has a little bit more heft to it, just the size. This feels a little bit smaller, just from the pictures at least. Perhaps it's larger in person. Next, we have the Kakapo, and this was actually the fifth and final set to make it into round 5. I am so glad that this made it. I am a pretty big animal fan, and I think it's really cool that a not very common endangered species of parrot, all the way from New Zealand, made it into a LEGO set. So, I don't know, that just really makes me very happy. Yeah, it looks really awesome to me, I think. I am pretty excited to building this whenever it shows up. Okay, so we're on to the last two. These are the projects that unfortunately did not make it and were not created, or I guess that's because they didn't reach to the 3,000 pre-orders. So first off, we had the BIONICLE Legends set, and I was a little bit surprised actually that this one didn't make it. I guess people kind of expected it to be successful because the Bionicle community is at least supposedly quite big. I guess it wasn't as big as we expected it to be, and the price probably dissuaded fans as well. I'm not sure if this was a $120 set, to be honest. I guess there's sort of a similar problem for this next one. This is the Particle Accelerator. It has a really cool functionality. I mean, it kind of works like a particle accelerator. You have these little Lego balls, and it has a motor over here, and it just speeds them around the circle, which is pretty dope. And it has like a nice little, I guess, observation deck over here. I do feel $100 might be a little bit more than what some people might want to pay for this. It has pretty cool functionality. I guess it was just a little bit too niche for the audience. Okay, so here are all 7 projects. Obviously, as you guys know, these 2 did not make it, but I think the main thing that could be attributed is kind of 2 things. It's probably a combination of price and interest. The price was probably a little bit higher than most people are ready to pay, and it was a little bit too niche for it to be interesting to all. I feel like the other projects were a little bit more general. Again, I understand exactly why the Kakapo came 5th and not anywhere higher. It's because it is also niche. I just feel it probably had more appeal than these other 2. Okay, so moving on to Designer Program, Round 2. So this one went live earlier this week, actually, and I picked up, just like last time, every set, and yeah, I'm pretty excited. Anyways, the modular Lego store kind of shocked me by coming in first. towards the beginning of towards the beginning of the run, it was pretty clearly the Mountain Windmill that was doing really well. This actually is completely sold out at the time of recording of this video. And yeah, I mean, I'm not like super shocked. I guess the fact that it's a Lego store in Lego is pretty cool. The fact that it's a modular actually intrigues me quite a bit because for quite a while I was almost certain that the reason that Lego idea sets that are modulars get rejected is because Lego doesn't want to create modulars outside of their specifically modular theme. So I'm kind of intrigued what they do with this. I wonder if they make it like a proper modular standard set with the sidewalk and then the Technic bricks on the side. If they do, awesome, super excited. If not though, I mean, I won't be like super surprised, but I will be a little bit disappointed. This set definitely is popular because it's a Lego store. It has a lot of cool little features inside, and it has a pretty good visual appeal as well. I'd say the price is okay. This whole round is very, very expensive compared to the first round, that's for sure. Next up, we have the Venetian houses. This is currently second. It has not actually sold out yet. Sorry about that. It is not actually sold out yet, but I guess it probably will within the next couple of days or so. So check it out in the description if you'd like to buy this one. $290 US does feel a little bit pricey considering this is a Lego set through the Bricklink designer program and we do not know what the final product is going to look like. So the fact that we're putting $290 towards this means that it's nice enough that we expect it to be good. It looks nice. It is pretty different from the stuff we've seen officially from Lego. There are some really, really cool custom designers I've seen that have done things similar to this, but I think it looks great. This is definitely a set that would look awesome on display, and I'm pretty excited to see what Lego and Bricklink work on to improve this and release it eventually. In third, we have the Mountain Windmill. This is also $180, like the Lego store in the beginning. And this is a good-looking set. I think it's a pretty cool idea, actually. The idea of a mountain, the idea of a windmill on a mountain. It looks nice. Re-looking at these pictures, honestly, it feels a little bit smaller than what I would hope for when you're paying $180. Keep in mind that Lego's official modular buildings generally tend to be $180 or $200. So if you compare those to this will definitely come up short. It does have some pretty cool greebling though. I think the rock work down here and the mixture of the plants and sort of almost like a broken, worn down look, most of it comes together pretty good, but I'm honestly not sure about the value here. It feels a little bit worse than I initially assessed it to be. All right, so coming in fourth, we have the Retro Bowling Alley. This is a really nice one, actually. The cover picture here doesn't honestly do it justice. I say if you look inside this one, go to the Bricklink Designer Program page and look inside. This looks really, really nice. I'm very, very excited actually to build this, to be completely honest. This is very, very cool. It does remind me a lot of the Downtown Diner from the modular line. Obviously, it has many of the similar aesthetics, the sort of retro American style, and it's cool. It's a well done set, and I feel like it's a really nice thing that you could add to a city. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Great job. Coming in fifth and final, which ended up actually battling the Seasons in Time calendar for the fifth spot, is the Clockwork Aquarium. Surprisingly, this is actually not the cheapest set in the round. It actually goes to the Science Adventures, but it's still a pretty great looking build. It has functionality to it. It's Clockwork Aquarium, so it works kind of like a clock. There's a crank on the side, and the fishes, in this case at least, move around the side. There are, I think, one or two other alternate builds. At least that's how it was advertised. There's like a shipwreck, I believe, and then some sort of skeleton underwater. So there are different options here, and it looks pretty cool. I feel like this is a nice thing you could put on a desk or something, just a smaller sort of set that you could display. Has cool little functionality, just show off to people. So yeah, for that reason alone, I'd say this is a pretty cool set. In my opinion, honestly, this is one of the biggest snubs I've seen recently. I definitely think this set had a lot of potential and some pretty cool features. I completely honestly did not All right, let me take a break there. When I first looked at this set, I wasn't completely sure what it was. I actually watched a video on it during the whole crowdfunding process, and I figured out that this up here is sort of just an adjustable clock. There are some dials over here. You can spin that around. You can change the day of the week. You can change the date. You can change the month. And then there's a little drawer down here. Now, you might be wondering, what are these? These are just sort of little vignettes that you can put on top over here. There's a birthday one, Halloween, spring, summer, fall, winter, blah, blah, blah. So many cool ones. So that's actually really neat. I think probably the biggest reason this one did do well is the price. This is a cool set. I don't know if it's worth $250 though. That's a pretty large sum of money for a Lego set. So I think the lack of scale definitely makes this a tougher one to like support, because it's kind of hard to tell from the picture just how big this I guess calendar or clock is itself. Yeah, I feel like if this was maybe 150 or 175, this would have a way better chance, and I think that would have probably pushed us through the finish line. I'm honestly sad that this one didn't make it. I think this would be a really cool thing to put on someone's desk. Yeah, I guess not too much you can do about it. Maybe eventually down the line they'll make a backup program for all the sets that didn't make it into this. But anyways, we have the Ruined House. This was $260. I don't think this one had a pretty great chance. It is really cool, to be honest. This is a super cool mock. Props to the designer. I feel like a ruined house, though, isn't really something that most people will be interested in making, especially considering the price. $260, like before, is a lot of money. I don't know if people are interested in paying that much just to build a house that's already ruined. That might be different if there was another option to build like the modern house, right? The one with like the paint on the walls and the roof intact and then everything else nice, right? But to my knowledge, that isn't an option. So I understand pretty well why this wasn't super popular. I'm not like super shocked or anything. Don't get me wrong, cool set, maybe not the best for this kind of program. Science Adventures, my opinion, right? Weakest set of the bunch. The designer here, Alaterial, they've actually designed two projects in the past through Lego Ideas. I think it was the Big Bang Theory and Women of NASA, if I remember correctly. This set, just, yeah, like I said before, it's cool, I guess, but doesn't have enough to compete with the other sets in this line. Finally, the Quest Builder, unfortunately, came dead last. I think this is a combination of a couple of things. Probably the price is the biggest thing, but it's also a little bit confusing, I'm sure, to most fans. What exactly is this set? Because it's not like your traditional Lego set. It is, as the name suggests, a quest builder. So you have minifigures, you have these little modules, you put them together and you make a sort of quest. Now don't get me wrong, that's super cool. If any of you have ever played Dungeons and Dragons, that's kind of similar to the whole idea there. Story mode, you can just go through, do all that cool stuff. I feel like if the creator did a better job of I guess explaining or making a video on how exactly this works, choosing better photos, that sort of stuff, this could have gone much further. But I think for the reasons I've stated already, this didn't do so great. Okay, so here are all 9 projects from this round. Understandably, the 4 that didn't make it have their own reasons. These 2 I think these 3 almost definitely was because they were just so expensive. You can argue that the Venetian, which is the most expensive out of all 4, made it, but I think that also had a different sort of appeal that these 3 weren't able to capture. Both the Ruined House and Quest Builder were, I think, a little bit I guess difficult to justify because they weren't sort of your traditional kind of set. Seasons and Time did make it close, but the price definitely got to it. Okay, finally, what you guys have been waiting for, the Bricklink Designer Program Round 3 sets. So we have 9 sets in this round, and that's expecting that none of them are archived. This has happened in the past, and I wouldn't be super surprised if it happens again. Anyways, let's get right into it. So starting off, we have the Winter Chalet. In my opinion, this is the strongest set of the entire line. There is definitely some, I guess, personal bias there because this is just such a cool set, and I am a huge fan of it. I would be really surprised, to be honest, if this didn't even make it into the top 5, but I wouldn't be super surprised if this isn't the top pick. Next up is Brickwest Studios. If I remember correctly, a set quite similar to this made it through the AFOL designer program back in 2018. So I think it has a good chance. It's a cool looking set. What kind of confuses me is the fact that it's a movie studio. So I think there's like a couple different things going on here. Yeah, I mean, that's all I'll say about it. I think it still has a pretty good chance of making it through, though. Here we have the 1950s diner. It's a pretty cool looking set. I mean, if we just look at the retro bowling alley, it has a lot of the same ideas, right? It's sort of a retro sort of diner. It has the classic sort of car, burger, shake, fries, coffee. The interior is super nice as well. It's definitely not like as given as maybe the studio or the chalet, but I still think it's a pretty strong pick compared to some of the others in this line. Here we have the train station. This is Studgate. I think out of maybe all the projects like total, this has some of the best rendering, photography, design work in general. It feels very cozy, you know, the blurred out lights in the background, the hardwood table, the extremely precise and crisp rendering. I think that just it has a level of professionalism that is missing in some of the other builds. That's what I mean to say. The build itself is awesome. It's phenomenal. It's very well done. I feel the main reason I put it this far down the list is because I'm scared of what the price might be. If I remember correctly, this is a 3,000 plus piece set. So this could be like a ridiculously priced set. This could be 350 or 400, and I can easily see that making buyers, whoa, okay, I don't want to buy that because that's very expensive, right? Especially when we don't know what the final product is going to look like. It could be very different from this. So that's fair. Personally, like it. Don't know how it's going to do, though. All right. Modular construction site. I think this rounds out 5. I'm not completely sure about this one. I feel like it has a lot of good chances because it's a modular. The fact that it's a construction site is interesting because it is obviously unfinished. Like the ruined house, I wonder if they would offer like a finished version or like maybe just instructions for a finished version of the building, because I feel like that's something people would like. Or if not, I guess it's Lego. You can make your own one. But modular is always a big plus, right? People love modulars. New modulars, they'll take them, right? The fact that it's under construction, that could probably be, I guess, a factor that makes it less wanted. Next, we have the working waterfall. I'm not super sure about this set because I feel like this is another one that they can make really expensive just based on the sheer number of parts here, right? There are a ton of black bricks here, a ton of stonework, a ton of pieces here, water, all that stuff. So this is a lot of pieces and it can be made very expensive. That stuff aside, super cool actually. It's, as the name suggests, a working waterfall, and the backside of this has a lot of really cool features as well. The Mountain View Observatory, which was originally actually supposed to be in round 1, seems to be in trouble just because of the caliber of the other projects in this line. There's some really strong projects this time around, so it'll be tough for this one to compete. Otherwise, it's actually pretty cool. There's a lot of really neat things in this one. And again, I wonder if price will have an effect on this one because this is a smaller one. I guess we'll have to see about that. Space Troopers has potential because of the first word here, space. People love space sets, especially adult fans. I'm going to be honest, I don't know exactly what the designer was going for in this one. It feels like the I guess the ship itself is a little bit strange in its shape. And don't get me wrong, new sorts of designs for ships is totally cool, right? We've all seen spaceships before, and sometimes they're very gray and similar to each other. So it's cool that they're doing something different. But I don't think this one has a great chance just because it seems sort of strange to me, just personally. Doesn't feel like it has the same visual strength and appeal that some of the other sets in this wave do. Okay, finally, my opinion, the weakest of this line is the Exploratorium. Now, some of you might be wondering, this is a pretty cool set. This has so many features, minifigures, blah, blah, blah. I feel mainly because it just feels like there's too much going on. There's so many colors, there's this, that, blah, blah, blah. I'm just confused, like, whoa, what is going on? Is this in the air? Is this in the sky? Is this on ground? Is this underwater? Who is who? What is happening? It's just like, wow, too much. That's mainly the reason I feel like this is not going to be the greatest. The price probably is going to be pretty high too, so this might end up being like a ruined house, quest builder sort of situation. That's just what I think. So yeah, those are the 9 sets. These are the 4 that I expect to not make it. Again, all of these predictions are my own. I could be completely wrong or I could be completely right. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video and I will be seeing you guys soon. Thanks and have a great day.